I just don't get it. Everyone's talking about Palworld this, Pokemon that. Did they ever ask how I am? Well, I'm glad you asked. Check it out. I made my very own video game characters. What? What's wrong? Looks like a Pokemon? Nah, you don't understand. This is my new game, Friends. See, clearly it's not a Pokemon. If you look right here, I got the trademarks in the design. You can't just copy that. Anyways, it's gonna have 2 versions. Friends, help you out the ledge version, and Friends with benefits version. And the second one's got a lot more pre-orders for some reason. I'm not too sure what's up with that. But you know what doesn't have 2 versions? Palworld, a game that has already sold 8 million copies. It's already breaking records for being Steam's most played game around the world. And has single-handedly split the internet in half. If it's ethically acceptable to buy or even be played. This is still a video game we're talking about here, right? I didn't even know those could do that. Well, first things first, I can't just sit here and not point out the fact that there's some clear similarities here between Palworld and Pokemon, but it would also be ridiculous to not assume most of these are clearly intentional. If you haven't noticed, Pokemon is a really big franchise, transcending gaming to become just pop culture at this point. Does it surprise me that someone wants a piece of that pie? I mean, it's a really big piece of pie, and wow, so good. Whoa, what? Is this ethical? I forgot to check the Twitters. All I'm saying here is Palworld knew what they were doing here. Putting guns in the hands of the Pikachu? That's been an internet meme before even I knew how to sign to the World Wide Web. It's bound to happen one way or another. But that's not the problem here. It's how they did it. Pokemon clones have been around before Pokemon even made it out of Japan. They are far and few in between. It was damn near impossible to go anywhere in the early 2000s, not see something trying to cash in on the Pokemania. That was nearly 24 years ago. What's Palworld got to do with that? Well, it comes down to the invention of AI. You know, see, that wasn't really a thing back then. They were too worried about Y2K and all the computers crashing. Most of these Pokéclones were directly made or commissioned by companies, being worked on by talented artists, story writers, programmers, you name it, that actually made some very respectable IPs. I mean, when I was a kid, I always preferred the Digimon show over the Pokemon. But that doesn't count, because the Digimons are actually way older than the Pokemons. That's not a clone. See, Palworld, on the other hand, has been accused of using some, computer DNA splicing on some of their Pokepals here. Let's just take a look at some of them, shall we? Let's go in with open minds and caffeinated hearts. Let's not be so quick to judge. Now let's check the Pal deck. Huh, really? Couldn't named it anything. You chose that. There aren't even cards in this game. What is wrong with y'all? Well, it only makes sense to start with the first 3 pals everyone will see in the beginning of their journey. The 3 horsemen. Lamball, Kativa, and Chickapee. Chickapee, although being named after a ski resort, is just a chicken. That's a win for Palworld. Chickens have been around since before the egg. That's a god creation. I'm pretty sure the copyright for that, just like Steamboat Willie, has expired. I think this is fair use here. When it comes to Kativa or Kativa, maybe I'm a little jaded here on this one, but I've been playing and making Pokemon videos for years. This one doesn't strike me as a clear ripoff. Any similarities you see could be chalked up as a coincidence so far. I mean, it could be a Skitty mixed with a Meowth, but how picky can we get here, right? Moving on, we got Lamball. Clearly a creation of God. That's copyright free, right? Oh no. This is the one the Twitter peoples are not so happy with. Well, probably due to its clear inspiration from the Pokemon Wooloo. And I know what it looks like here, guys, but remember, open mind, palpitating hearts here, guys. We can't just make up our minds yet. I mean, and they gave it a full automatic rifle. Mwah! The final touches of being different. Pokemon wouldn't do that, would they? What am I looking at here? Sparkit? Okay, now that's just clearly Raichu's tail. Didn't want to go with Pikachu, so that's an easy giveaway. Raichu, though? Yeah, people may have forgot about that guy. But to be fair, that's just a tail. I'm not sure that's enough to be sued. I'm no lawyer. I don't know how many body parts you can steal before legal issues are a concern. But shout out to my boy Cremis, though. Really tiptoeing around the fact that it's just a white Eevee. Now I'm a little skeptical. I can see where people are connecting the dots. But I'm not sold yet. They make them close, but they don't make them completely obvious so far. Yeah, it looks like the team was allowed to put them in the game if they could come up with 3 bullshit excuses for when Nintendo came knocking. But maybe I'm wrong, because a few of them really got me thinking here. I mean, some of these I don't even gotta explain. That's just a Flaffy as an alpaca. This one's just a Decidueye and a Gallade that liked each other a little bit too much. Incognito? Damn, that's a good name. You say, you get it? Because it's a crow and it goes caw, and it's a ghost, so it's Cognito. You know, it's too bad. It's just clearly a Murkrow wearing the Duskull face. It gets worse. Azarobe. I mean, what can I say? That's it. They didn't even try to hide this one. Egyptian Pharaoh Lucario, Longneck Quagsire, Clodsire with Sobel's Fin. Getting a little tired of changing the homework before you copied on this one, were you guys? It's not even mentioning what they did to my boy. Sure, this one's not completely obvious, but I know there's a Growlithe, and now actually that I'm looking at it as a Stoutland, deep inside there, somewhere in pain. Well, okay, let's not take away from my actual favorites, Tooncat, and hey, only about 10% of a Final Fantasy character. That's pretty impressive. I think I might even be allowed to like this one. My other favorite, I'm not too sure I'll be able to help with the legal team. I mean, it's just a yellow My Neighbor Totoro. Well, okay, guys, I do gotta play devil's avocado here and say they did reveal this game 3 years ago. You know, AI wasn't such a heated topic back then. See, I'm not sure if there stands any grounds here. I just think that it is a point worth making, and it is clear from the demo that a lot of these designs were from back then. Quickly realized it plays nothing like an actual Pokemon game. They saw all that from something else. Well, other than the capturing mechanics and the entire Legends Arceus bottom left HUD, some mechanics take inspiration from real life, and that's not copywritten. Like slavery. You gotta enslave them all. You gotta get them sweatshops working at full speed. You know what? I'm just waiting for the Underground Railroad update, and then I'll be on to join you guys for some fun. I promise. No, I'm just sorry. I can't have the Twitters mad at me again. I mean, are you crazy? She almost got me killed for eating pie earlier in this video. There are shiny, sorry, lucky pals in this game? What? Okay, that's it. I'm in it for the long haul. Sign me up. And here I was running out of Pokemon games to beat with only shinies. Lucky Pals actually serve some sort of purpose in these games, other than just downright bragging rights. Boosted abilities, stats, on top of being all sparkly and shiny. One of the other mechanics, showing the capturing rate and how effective it is, where you throw the ball and what ball you're using. It's pretty genius. I don't think Pokemon are too interested in showing you those stats though, because, it kind of keeps the player on edge and more engaged in the battles. But as you can see here in Palworld, battles can get pretty hectic, so it does help. Since did I mention you could capture and collect almost everything, even people. Your sweatshops not sound so cool now, are they? But it's just a game. You don't see me going around saying we should cancel Kingdom Hearts for the inappropriate key sizes. I mean, no one's got doors with locks on them that big. It's all been a lie. It's fake news. It's bad for the kids. Capturing humans is not encouraged by the game. Clearly, you can see by their cheeky little dex entries. But you can catch it. It's not like they didn't just put it in their games themselves. But let's be serious. I think it's hilarious. It's probably why they kept it. But how did Palword just show up and get such great success? Well, you'd have to have lived under a rock for at least 10 years to not notice that the Pokemon games aren't really what they used to be. Ever since they've gone from the handheld exclusives to developing for the home consoles like the Switch, the quality and the creativity are really at an all-time low. And don't get me wrong, I love these games. But I'm not blind. Yeah, I can't read, but I'm not blind. But also, this is coming from the guy whose favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Snap. So, I'm not sure if I can be trusted. It also might help that this game is $30. Pokemon game is $80. So you're telling me it's $30 and I can play with all my friends and it's not restricted to Nintendo consoles? Well, damn. Sounds like a perfect recipe for... I'll give it a try. Yeah, one of those type of purchases. Or, well, China, as they make up almost 50% of all sales. You gotta give it to China, they love their bootlegs, huh? If you don't fully understand how much 8 million copies is, well, that's more than 90% of all Sonic games. You know that blue guy, right? He's been around for a while. He's gonna be begging to be a pal soon. I wasn't gonna be able to save you forever. See, I would talk more about the guns in this game, but that narrative is very well, played out. And honestly, you could play for 25 hours or more and never even get one. But the second I commit a crime, the police just materialize out of nowhere and shoot me? That's not fair. What is this? Canada? 3 whole days after the release of the game? Who knew it? Already a full mod that replaces characters with Pokemon. Wow, I'm so surprised. The actual surprising thing is it looks pretty damn good. But you know who didn't think so? Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. The modder received the cease and desist, and the Pokemon Company themselves have already made an actual statement on the current Palworld situation. I'm not sure if this is just regarding the whole game at this point, or just the mod. But the fact it's under investigation, it's not looking so good. I've heard stories of Nintendo ninjas, man, chasing down leakers, modders, Sometimes people that just like their games a little bit too much, and they didn't make a single dollar off it. 8 million copies? I'd rather have the Palword police materialize out of thin air with fully automatic guns. This whole time I was worried about the Twitters. Now here I am making a video on Palword right now. Quick, like and subscribe. I'm going to be a corpse before you know it, guys. Honestly, I guess you don't have to do that because I'm going to be dead either way. And I know I shouldn't have to say this, but slavery is bad. But also, you know, video games ain't real. So what you doing those? I don't give a f***. I don't know, man. Just be a good person. Okay, Ninja's here. I got to go. And he doesn't have a low taper fade, by the way.